Hello everybody, what is going on? This is Marcus and we are back for another episode of Mark Us on Top. As you can see, we will be using a team that is very similar to the one that I featured in the previous episode. However, as I already mentioned, I wanted to do a couple of changes, the biggest one being, Mowal is benched for today's episode and instead we will run a Mega Metagross actually. Now, Mega Metagross, I don't know, just has like a very similar job, just like the Mowal being a physical steel type. But it's faster, it doesn't have Intimidate, which can sometimes be a good thing, especially on a team that has like all those foul play users. And another change I made was I put Protect over Thunderbolt on that Thunderous. So I did not really know how you would run a Metagross in VGC 16, so I just stuck to the standardish set from VGC 15, which was, Substitute, Zen Headbutt, Iron Head, and Protect Jolly with max attack and max speed. Our first opponent of the day will be a Japanese player with a rating of 1607, rocking a team here with Kangaskhan, Xerneas, Kyogre, Gothitelle, Ferrothorn, and Weavile. Weavile also an interesting Pokemon, being pretty frail, but Stab knockoff is nice. It can knock off Power Herb from Xerneas, for example, but in this team we do not have a Xerneas, so that's nothing we have to worry about. But let's see what we can do here. Now, Dark Aura could actually backfire here a little bit if we are like boosting our opponent's knockoff, so that is something to keep in mind. Maybe I want to bring Yveltal in the back. However, he also has a Gothitelle, so yeah, Yveltal would be nice to have against that Gothitelle. However, yeah, since I'm not running like Dark Pulse or knockoff on this Yveltal, I don't actually have a way to one-hit KO Gothitelle. So I do think Liepard could be nice. Yeah, just for being able to go for like an Encore on the potential Fake Out, for example, and stuff like that. Then we'll be definitely bringing Ferrothorn to this one, as my opponent doesn't have the best matchup against it, but I'm not really sure where I would bring it. I could actually see myself bringing that Metagross, but once again, I'm not sure. Maybe we'll actually bench Yveltal for this matchup. Yeah, I do think Ferrothorn is probably the clever choice. As for a Steel type, better than Metagross, because if my opponent decides to set up a Trick Room with his Gothitelle, then Metagross's speed would obviously hinder its ability, and Ferrothorn can, due to the Grass typing, deal with Primal Kyogre better in general. So once again, we'll be going with Leopard, Thunderous, and in the back there will be Groudon and Ferrothorn. Now, I was also thinking about doing another change to the team, which would be putting Kyogre over the Groudon, but yeah, I didn't practice with it before, and I didn't have the time to do so, so in the end I just stuck with the Groudon, but I think that is something to consider for future episodes probably, or for, if you want to test the team, then maybe you could try that as well. As, the team doesn't really, like, rely on having either Groudon or Kyogre at all, and maybe Kyogre with, like, a bunch of Thunder Wave support could be nice. So our opponent leads off here with that Gothitelle and Kyogre, which is a pretty strong combination. You cannot switch out here due to Gothitelle's Shadow Tag ability, so Kyogre is free to fire off Origin Pulses or Water Spouts, for example. However, I can just go for a potential Fake Out right here. I could Fake Out that Kyogre, or I could go for a Taunt on the Gothitelle. Now, I do think going for the Fake Out on the Kyogre is probably my better play, since I just want to get off, I don't want to take any damage. And as you can see, I don't have Thunderbolt anymore, but Protect. So I could also just Swagger the Gothitelle, I guess. Now, going for the Swagger, turn 1 probably not something you want to do, but right here it gives me a bunch of options for the next turn, as I could go for like a T-Wave to decrease the likelihood of his Gothitelle going for an attack with the standardish Para Fusion. Thunder is just doing thunderous things at this point, and looks like our opponent actually prepared for this, having a Lumberry. Now I thought that he might have a Mental Herb, or else we could have gone for a Taunt there on that Gothitelle, but looks like it's a Lumberry, so that's an interesting feature here. And we'll ensure that my opponent gets off the Trick Room right now. So yeah, I cannot switch out into Ferrothorn, which would be nice, but thanks to Shadow Tag we cannot do that. So what I could do is go for an Encore on the Gothitelle. However, I do think that my opponent might predict that and go for a potential switch out. So instead, I think I want to go for a Foul Play onto that Kyogre and also a Swagger to increase the power of Foul Play. Now that probably won't knock it out, since we do not have Yveltal on the field, but that should do a good chunk of damage. And yeah, I do think that Gothita would withdraw here, and that is exactly what my opponent does. Let's see what he brings out here. And it is that Kangaskhan as it looks. Yep, so there's Kangaskhan. Now we can feel free to switch out to Ferrothorn the next turn. And if our opponent cannot get his attack here, that would be fantastic. But let's see what Kyogre does. Is confused, and we do see the Water Spout. Now, ouch, that will hurt us obviously, but Leopard has its Sash. Thundurus hang in there, thanks to the very special defensive investment I gave it, and Citrus Berry, yeah, we'll bring it back to like a little bit of health, and let's see how much damage is Foul Play going to do. After that, Swagger, yeah, that's some nice damage to that Kyogre. Though, yeah, with the Self-Hit that potentially would have been down and we would have been in a very good position, but not the case here, so let's see what we can do. Now, I could switch into Ferrothorn right away. I could also pull a switch into my Groudon here, expecting an Origin Pulse. However, our opponent showed us the Water Spout, so maybe if his Gothitelle has, like, Heal Pulse, I do think that that Water Spout is enough as like offensive damage potential, since you can go for like a heal pulse on your Kyogre, and then Water Spout will be back like to a lot of power if you're in Trick Room. So I'm actually switching on my Leopard here into Ferrothorn. Generally, you don't really want to switch in your Ferrothorn into a Kyogre, but I think in this specific situation, like we could see potentially the Fake Out going into that slot, or like worst case is like an Ice Beam, but let's see what happens. So I'm protecting Thundurus. One of the reasons why I wanted to have Protect here on that Thundurus is actually because of Fake Out from Kangaskhan. Since you don't want to play the game where you go for like a Fake Out with your Leopard on the Kangaskhan, and potentially they have like Inner Focus and they don't Mega Evolve, and then they get to Fake Out your Thundurus for free, for example. And he snaps out of confusion actually and Ice Beams into the Thundurus after we did see the Fake Out going into our Ferrothorn. Now, yeah, we got off some nice damage onto the Kangaskhan thanks to the Iron Barb's ability of Ferrothorn, and I could just go for an attack here. Yeah, it's hard to predict what that Kyogre is going for. If he wants to save it for later on, or if he just like is going to sacrifice it right here. I could go for a Power Whip, since I'm not sure if Gyro Ball would KO, and Power Whip does more damage to like a potential, I don't know, Gothitelle that could switch in. And then I'm also going for a Foul Play onto that Kangaskhan, I believe. Yeah, let's see. If he's like fast Kangaskhan, then we should be able to underspeed him. But if he's also like built for Trick Room, then yeah, he will get us. So yeah, we are actually outspeeding him here in Trick Room and Foul Play. Should do a little bit of damage, and he will proceed to knock out our Thundurus, but that is just fine, as yeah, I don't really think that I need Thundurus anymore. Like, the only thing where it would be very good is to prevent another Trick Room from going up. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure if we have to like go for that here. So there's two plays I could make. I could switch into Leopard and Encore Kyogre into going for another Protect and then take out the Kangaskhan with my Ferrothorn. Or I could switch into my Groudon and go for an Eruption. Both plays are perfectly viable, I think. And, I do think going for the Leopard is probably my better choice. So we can have Groudon in the back to win the Water War in the end, and since Trick Room will be over eventually, Leopard could do its job. And actually, yeah, like what I said was wrong, like Leopard is the one carrying the taunt, so we still have that ability to prevent Trick Room from going up again. So I will just go for a Gyro Ball that should knock out the Kangaskhan depending on the EV spread. And then just to play it safe, I'm going for the Encore on that Kyogre, I think. Though I could also just go for a Fake Out, I guess. At this point it doesn't really matter. Or I could also Power Whip the Kyogre and Fake Out the Kangaskhan. Or I could predict like a double switch or something. But yeah, let's just Fake Out the Kyogre and go for the Gyro Ball. That should knock out that Kangaskhan. Okay, so he does not withdraw Kyogre, which is fine, and last turn of Trick Room, I believe, so Gyro Ball here will knock out that Kangaskhan. Nice. Okay, so next turn, what we can do is Encore the Kyogre into another Protect. since, yeah, he flinched this turn, but on the last like successful move it used was that protect, I think. And we're actually seeing a Weavile come in here, so Gyro Ball should do a lot of damage to that. And now the question is, do I want Leopard to stick around? Yeah, I guess he can just go for the fake out here to knock me out, but then we will have Groudon in the back. That should be able to potentially yeah, seal up this game for us. So I could also switch Leopard back into my Groudon. It's tough. Yeah, I actually think I want to go for just a foul play. So if he knocks out my Leopard with fake out, then we will get off that Gyro Ball, which is nice, but if he switches out, which is what he does here, we will get at least a little bit of chip damage onto the Gothitelle with the super effective foul play. And he goes for the fake out, yeah, presumably targeting the Leopard, and that is what he does. So Gyro Ball should be able to put him down to a potential sash, and then, yeah, we will lose the Weather War in the end. But our Groudon is max speed, so yeah, like we have two like ways to KO his Groudon in Trick Room and outside of Trick Room, since our Ferrothorn will outspeed him inside of Trick Room and Groudon will outspeed him outside of Trick Room. So yeah, we just have to get past this Weavile, and then things look pretty good. I could go for a Leech Seed here actually with Ferrothorn. I'm not really sure if Leech Seed is actually worth it on this specific set. I considered going for a Thunder Wave and then also replacing Gyro Ball with Iron Head. So if you want to test out this team, then that is also another adjustment you can try. So, yeah, I'm guessing going for the Leech Seed on Gothitelle and the Earth Power on the Weavile probably. Or I could also just Gyro Ball the Weavile. And I mean, I could go for the Eruption too. Decisions. Yeah, I think I want to Leech Seed the Gothitelle and Earth Power the Weavile. Okay, let's see what he does. So here comes the low kick actually. Okay, so that will do some damage, but that will also knock out the Weavile in the process. So both our moves will go onto that Gothitelle. Both the Earth Power and the Leech Seed. Now he could have theoretically switched out into his Kyogre, so I didn't want to go for the Eruption. But yeah, I could have risked it, I guess. Now let's see. Okay, he goes for the Trick Room, so he's probably banking on a Power Whip miss as his last win condition. At least that's what I'm guessing, since Gothitelle shouldn't have a way to knock out my Ferrothorn. So now, since Trick Room is up, I will just go for the Power Whip on his Kyogre, since once again, I'm not sure, I don't think Gyro Ball would knock this thing out, even though it's at such low health. I don't want to risk losing the game because Gyro Ball just comes short of KOing him, so yeah, we'll go for the Power Whip, I guess. And then, I don't know, I can just go for an Earth Power onto that Gothitelle probably. But it doesn't really matter, like basically we just need this Power Whip to connect. Yeah, or I shall Earth Power the Kyogre in case he tries to Ice Beam the Ferrothorn, and then I would still win. But Power Whip, fortunately enough, connects here, will take out that Kyogre, and that means we should have this game won. Pretty nice game. Ferrothorn once again proving to be pretty clutch here, and ooh, as he actually reveals the fake tears. Okay, that could have been interesting. Now I'm not sure what move that Kyogre went for, but if it had Origin Pulse, which once again I'm not sure, like with Heal Pulse and Gothitelle, but if you have fake tears, then probably he doesn't even have Heal Pulse. Interesting option on Gothitelle, something to consider for the future and to keep in mind. Gothitelle actually learns fake tears. And yeah, if I had missed that Power Whip, that could have meant that he won that game, but yeah, fortunately enough, we connected, and so the first game of this episode will end with a victory for us. Yeah, good game here. And yeah, once again, Ferrothorn really doing a lot of work here against those Xerneas and Kyogre kind of teams. Another interesting thing here, my opponent actually bringing that Weavile in the back. I'm guessing it's more common to see Weavile as a lead. I mean, you have Focus Sash, you're pretty fast with Fake Out Pressure and so on. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what my opponent was really thinking there, but I don't think that there was anything else he could have like done else. Like even if he had Xerneas, I don't think that would have helped him, or yeah, just, I don't know. Not really sure though what the Weewat was about. But so our rating is 1690 with a record of 14 wins and 1 loss, which is pretty nice. And next opponent has a higher rating than us, 1743 from Japan. So we're in for a treat, featuring the probably most common team in the format at the moment. The same 6 I used to win the recent Stockholm regional. The same 6 were also used to win the regional in Singapore and to win a regional in Taiwan. And 3 of the top 8 of the UK regional that happened yesterday also had those exact same 6. However, with some interesting twists. So yeah, that is probably the most common team in the format at the moment. So yeah, you should probably expect to see this team. And yeah, let's see what can we actually do here. Now, Trick Room is definitely like something that would be good against this team. Like if we could have, like, I don't know, Ferrothorn or Groudon and Trick Room, but since we're fast paced and Thunder Wave is our like way of speed control, that's not something we can do. I'm not sure how good Yveltal is versus this kind of team, since yeah, Xerneas threatens it a bit, but we do need a way to KO that Groudon, so maybe I just want to go with Yveltal and Leopard as my leads. Thundurus could also make an appearance though, so I don't want to rule that out. Metagross, not exactly the best choice, however we do have Substitute, I just remembered that. So maybe we could try going for like Metagross and Yveltal here with Groudon and Thundurus or Ferrothorn in the back. I'm going with Ferrothorn since we do have the Lumbreon on that, I believe. Okay, now I'm not exactly sure if that was like the cleanest of like selections. We could have gone with the Swagger and Foul Play mode with like Leopard and Thundurus. But I figured I wanted to try out the Mega Metagross and see how it fares against this team. I mean, we do have Substitute, so we can potentially block like a Dark Void coming in our way. And if our opponent leads with something with Xerneas, which I don't think they should do, seeing the double steel types, yeah, leads with Groudon and Talonflame, which is actually disastrous for my Metagross right now. But had he had like something with Xerneas, then I do think that my team has like the tools to take that out. Now, okay, so we broke both our Metagross and the Ferrothorn, so we definitely have to make sure that we can somehow take out one of those fire type as soon as possible. Metagross is not actually doing like the best figure like right there, so I could just Mega Evolve and Protect to make sure that I'm outspeeding his Groudon the next turn, but he obviously also has like the threat of going for a Flabbits then with his Talonflame. He could also just set up a Tailwind, you know? Maybe predicting me to have Tailwind on my Yveltal. So that is also something to consider. Yeah, his lead selection was pretty excellent right here. I can say that. So I think I would actually just go for a Snarl and protect my Metagross. Now, not exactly the most threatening move coming out here from my Yveltal. And yeah, he won't have any move to proc my weakness policy on that Yveltal, so our damage output should be limited. Yeah, he's probably just going for Protect Tailwind. I could have capitalized on that and gone for the Substitute right there. Yeah, this was probably the play to make, and yep, he just goes for the Tailwind. So Snarl not even doing anything to that Talonflame. And yeah, it looks like we have to deal with that Eruption the next turn. Still does a little bit of damage, but decreasing the special attack of that Talonflame really not helping. So if we had like Thundurus or Leopard, then maybe we could have pulled something off, but Talonflame also like carrying Quick Guard most of the time on these teams. So yeah, his lead was probably like a very strong choice against my team. And I definitely have to do something about that in the future. Yeah, as I said, I was considering going with Kyogre, and I do think that Kyogre would improve the matchup here at least a little bit. So I'm expecting Eruption coming my way now. So I can switch into my Groudon and just go for the Sucker Punch on his Groudon to decrease the damage done a little bit. But yeah, what's next? I mean, he can just go for like an Earth Power on my Groudon then and potentially like Flablets into the Yveltal. So things are not really looking good at all. But yeah, good choice by my opponent. And didn't really consider Groudon and Talonflame while thinking about matchups. Like, I was all about going against that Xerneas mode, but yeah, he definitely shows that this team has more in petto than just like, yeah, setting up Xerneas and going from there. Now he goes for a Brave Bird onto my Yveltal. I do think he could have just gone for a Flare Blitz as well. Maybe he doesn't pack Flare Blitz, but I guess you should. So, or maybe he was like preferring a potential Sucker Punch. And yeah, with that critical hit, that our Yveltal is like going down, and Sucker Punch not doing much to ground either. So it looks like this will be a very clean sweep. Yeah, which is a little bit sad to see, since yeah, I ran this exact same team and did pretty well with it, but now I'm not able to do anything against it. But then again, I mean, it's also a very, very strong team. So yeah, thinking about my team's matchup, I should probably try out that Kyogre over the Groudon, and then what else could you do? I mean, Leopard would have been a better choice probably. But yeah, once again, the Quick Guard. So, I will just go for as an headbutt onto his Groudon, I believe. Yeah, or he could also just go for like an Eruption and Brave Bird into my Groudon to seal up the game, but maybe he Earth Powers here. Yeah, so he goes for the Flare Blitz. So yeah, he could have gone for the Flare Blitz onto my Yveltal really. Since, yeah, that's boosted by the sun, and it just knocks us out, and there's really nothing you can do. So, whoa, what a, like, once again, that is really painful to see. But, yeah, I will try to update this team one more time, probably, keeping, yeah, the Groudon and Talonflame lead in mind. And then maybe we'll feature it in one more episode, I guess. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about, like, the specific 6 my opponent brought here? What would you, like, do you have any advice for me? How could I improve my team without changing like too much of it? And yeah, by the way, Gengar's comment of the day is about a play that I made in the last video. Like right at the end, after the bacon party was over, I went for I went for a Sucker Punch and Earth Power on my opponent's Blastoise. But yeah, someone pointed out that Eruption actually would have done more damage to the Blastoise than Earth Power, since it was single target. And yeah, that was definitely true, so I thought I should give credit to you for pointing that out. Thank you very much. And yeah, like, I'm aware of that, but I don't know, like, it was like his last month, so I just clicked something. But yeah, if your opponent is down to their last mon, Eruption is actually more powerful if you're like close to having max HP and full health. So I tried to go for the double protect right there because it was like the only thing I could have done to prevent losing this turn, and our opponent just goes for the fake out and Eruption, I would assume. Yeah, maybe we can live that with Groudon, but it doesn't really matter, since next turn he can just KO us with his Kangaskhan and Eruption our Ferrothorn into Oblivion. So yeah, good game. I will just forfeit at this point, I guess, since there's nothing to do. And yep, that's the end of this episode. I'm really getting crushed here in the second game, but the first game was kind of interesting, I guess. Maybe you learned something from this. Interested in hearing your opinions on Mega Metagross. Maybe some of you tested it. Maybe there is a better moveset. I'm not really sure, since once again, I just didn't know what to bring on Metagross. I considered Bullet Punch, considered Hammer Arm, and a bunch of other options like Ice Punch, but yeah, I felt just going for the dual stab is probably like the, I don't know, like safest option here as for moveset. So our opponent taking his time right here. I'm not really sure what he's thinking about. Maybe he just wants to make me suffer a little more. But yeah, he should be able to just hit something and then we'll forfeit. So yeah, well played. Groudon, Talonflame, not something to underestimate. When you have like two mons with Prankster, yeah, I probably should have expected the Talonflame to come out as elite. But yeah, well played. Credits to my opponent for just winning this game based on team matchups and in preview. So thanks a lot to you for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, make sure to leave a like, or yeah, comment, answer any of the questions I post in this video, and maybe subscribe if you want to. And then I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Marcus on Top. Thank you for watching. Bye.